The sun dipped below the horizon as Lena Harper drove into the small town of Willow Creek. Nestled between dense forests and rolling hills, the town exuded a quiet charm, its streets lined with quaint houses and age-old oak trees. Lena had arrived with a purpose: to escape her tumultuous past and seek solace in a place where the biggest news story was the annual Harvest Festival. But as she parked her car and stepped out, the crisp autumn air carried whispers of something more, an undercurrent of secrets buried beneath Willow Creek's serene facade. The locals moved with a reserved grace, casting curious glances her way. Lena, a seasoned journalist with a knack for uncovering hidden truths, sensed an unspoken tension in their silence. She checked into the town's modest inn, its wooden beams creaking under the weight of time. The receptionist, an elderly woman with piercing blue eyes, offered a tight-lipped smile. "Welcome to Willow Creek, Miss Harper," she said, her voice steady but guarded. "If you need anything, don't hesitate to ask." Lena thanked her and made her way to her room, unpacking her belongings with methodical precision. As night fell, she sat by the window, gazing out at the sprawling expanse of Willow Orchard, the town's most infamous landmark. Once a thriving orchard, it had been abandoned decades ago after a series of unexplained disappearances during the Harvest Festival. Now, it stood as a silhouette against the twilight, shrouded in dense fog that seemed to whisper secrets only the trees could understand. The next morning, Lena decided to delve deeper into the town's history. She visited the local library, a grand building of stone and glass, where she met Ethan Clark, a reserved man with a scholarly demeanor. He was the town historian, entrusted with preserving Willow Creek's legacy. "Good morning, Miss Harper," Ethan greeted, adjusting his glasses. "I understand you're interested in the history of Willow Orchard?" "Yes," Lena replied, pulling out her notepad. "I'm researching the orchard's past, especially the events leading up to its abandonment. Any information you can provide would be invaluable." Ethan nodded, leading her to a secluded corner of the library. The orchard was once the pride of Willow Creek, known for its bountiful harvests and community gatherings. However, during the Harvest Festival of 1987, several children vanished without a trace. The town was devastated, and fear took root. Some believe the orchard was cursed, others suspect foul play. The truth remains elusive. Lena leaned forward, her curiosity piqued. "Are there any records or personal accounts from that time?" Ethan handed her a worn journal. This belonged to Margaret Collins, one of the festival organizers. Her entries detail the days leading up to the disappearances. They might offer some insights. As Lena flipped through the fragile pages, one entry stood out. "They never leave the orchard. Listen to the trees." The cryptic note sent a chill down her spine. "Listen to the trees," she mused aloud. "What do you make of that?" Ethan hesitated before responding. "There are local legends about the whispering trees that communicate with those who dare to enter the orchard. Some say they hold the souls of the lost children, forever trapped within." Lena felt a shiver run through her. "Do you believe there's any truth to these legends?" Ethan met her gaze, his eyes filled with a mix of skepticism and fear. "As a historian, I rely on facts, but some things defy explanation. If you're planning to investigate, be cautious. The orchard has a way of drawing people in, and not everyone who enters comes out unscathed." Determined to uncover the truth, Lena decided to explore Willow Orchard herself. She contacted Ethan, arranging to meet him before dusk. When the evening shadows lengthened, Lena and Ethan stood at the edge of the orchard. The once orderly rows of apple trees were now wild and overgrown, their gnarled branches intertwining to form an almost impenetrable canopy. A thick fog hugged the ground, muffling sounds and creating an oppressive silence. "Are you sure you want to do this?" Ethan asked, his voice tinged with apprehension. Lena nodded firmly. "I need to see it for myself. If there's any truth to the stories, I want to document it." Ethan sighed, pulling out a flashlight. "Very well. Stay close and don't wander off. The orchard has a way of getting inside your head." As they ventured deeper, the air grew colder and the fog thickened. The trees loomed overhead, their branches resembling skeletal hands reaching out to the sky. Lena's flashlight beam cut through the darkness, revealing remnants of the past. Abandoned toys lying in the grass, torn clothing fluttering from branches, and eerie symbols carved into the bark. Suddenly a soft whisper echoed through the orchard. Lena froze, her heart pounding. The whispers grew louder, swirling around them like a ghostly breeze. "Listen to the trees," the voices seemed to chant. Ethan tightened his grip on his flashlight. "We need to keep moving, stay focused." But Lena couldn't shake the feeling of being watched. Every rustle of leaves, every fleeting shadow, heightened her anxiety. The orchard seemed alive, pulsating with unseen energy. After what felt like hours of navigating the labyrinthine orchard, Lena and Ethan stumbled upon a hidden grove. In the center stood an ancient stone altar, weathered by time and nature. Surrounding it were the twisted branches of an enormous tree, its trunk bearing intricate carvings that glowed faintly in the dim light. "This must be it," Lena whispered, her voice barely audible over the ambient whispers. Ethan approached the altar cautiously, examining the carvings. "These symbols resemble those in Margaret Collins' journal. It looks like some sort of ritual site." As they studied the altar, a sudden gust of wind extinguished their flashlights, plunging them into darkness. Panic set in as the whispers intensified, now accompanied by distant wails and the sound of footsteps echoing through the trees. Lena fumbled to relight her flashlight, her hands trembling. The beam landed on a figure standing before them, a shadowy presence with hollow eyes, emanating malevolence. "Leave this place," the figure intoned, its voice echoing with authority. "The orchard claims its own." Ethan took a step back, fear etched on his face. "We mean no harm. We're here to understand." The figure advanced, its form shifting and warping like smoke. "Understanding comes at a price. What are you willing to sacrifice?" Lena steadied herself, her journal clutched tightly in her hand. "We want to help the spirits find peace. The orchard's curse is tearing the community apart. We need to break it." The figure paused, a flicker of something resembling sadness passing through its form. "There is a way, but it requires facing the darkness within. Are you prepared for what you might find?" Without hesitation, Lena nodded. "We are. Tell us what we need to do." The shadowy figure gestured towards the altar. "Use the ancient ritual to release the spirits. But beware, the darkness will test you." Ethan exchanged a worried glance with Lena. "What exactly does the ritual entail?" The figure extended a hand, revealing a parchment etched with the same symbols they had seen earlier. "Recite these words at the stroke of midnight. The ritual must be performed with pure intent and unwavering resolve." As the figure dissipated into the fog, the weight of their task settled over them. Lena unfolded the parchment, her eyes scanning the archaic script. Despite its unfamiliar language, the journal she had found earlier mirrored the symbols, suggesting a connection between the two. "We need to prepare," Lena said, her determination unwavering. "We'll return at midnight to perform the ritual." Ethan nodded reluctantly. "I'll gather whatever we need. But Lena, please be careful. The orchard is not forgiving." The hours leading up to midnight were tense. Lena and Ethan returned to the hidden grove, the stone altar bathed in moonlight filtering through the canopy. The atmosphere was thick with anticipation and fear. Ethan placed candles around the altar, their flickering flames casting eerie shadows. Lena positioned herself at the center, holding the journal and the parchment. The whispers had subsided, replaced by an oppressive silence that pressed in from all sides. "Are you ready?" Lena asked, her voice steady despite the pounding in her chest. Ethan gave her a nod. "Let's do this." Taking a deep breath, Lena began to recite the ritual, her voice echoing through the grove. The symbols on the parchment seemed to glow as she spoke, intertwining with the carvings on the altar. As the final words left her lips, the ground trembled, and the air grew heavy with energy. The trees around them swayed violently, their branches clawing at the sky. Shadows coalesced into figures, lost children, their faces contorted in sorrow and fear. Lena felt a presence looming over her, the air thick with malevolence. The keeper, the shadowy guardian of the orchard, emerged from the darkness, its form more defined and menacing than before. "You dare to challenge me?" The keeper's voice was a guttural growl, resonating with ancient power. Lena stood her ground, clutching the journal tightly. "We seek to free the spirits trapped here, release them, and end this curse." The keeper advanced, its eyes burning with rage. "The orchard feeds on fear and despair. Without it, there is nothing but chaos." Ethan stepped forward, his voice quivering. "There must be another way. Let us help you find peace." The air crackled with tension as Lena and Ethan faced the keeper. The grove seemed to close in around them, the very trees echoing their confrontation. As the confrontation escalated, Lena realized that the keeper's power stemmed from the collective fear of those who entered the orchard. To weaken it, she needed to confront her own fears and doubts. Closing her eyes, Lena delved into her memories, visions of her past, the turmoil that had driven her to Willow Creek. She saw herself as a child, lost and afraid, searching for a way out of a labyrinthine maze. The fear she had carried for years surged within her, but instead of letting it consume her, she faced it head-on. With renewed strength, Lena opened her eyes and continued the ritual, her voice unwavering. The symbols glowed brighter, and the spirits around them began to whisper in unison, their voices harmonizing with Lena's incantation. The keeper hesitated, its form flickering. "You cannot defeat me. The orchard is eternal." But Lena pressed on, her determination unshakable. "Number it doesn't have to be. We can break this cycle." The light from the symbols enveloped the grove, and a surge of energy pulsed through the orchard. The spirits, freed from their torment, began to ascend, their forms dissipating into the night sky. The keeper let out a final, anguished wail before fading into the darkness, its malevolent presence dissolved by the collective release of fear and sorrow. As the last spirit vanished, the orchard began to crumble, the once towering trees now reduced to lifeless stumps. The oppressive atmosphere lifted, replaced by a serene stillness. Lena collapsed onto the altar, exhaustion washing over her. Ethan rushed to her side, concern etched on his face. "Are you okay?" She nodded weakly. "We did it. The curse is broken." Ethan helped her to her feet, and together they made their way out of the collapsing orchard. As they emerged into the night, the first light of dawn broke over Willow Creek, signaling a new beginning. Back in town, Lena felt a sense of accomplishment she hadn't felt in years. She had not only uncovered the truth behind the silent orchard, but had also found a path to her own redemption. She sat at her desk in the local newspaper office, penning the story that would bring closure to Willow Creek. Her fingers moved swiftly over the keyboard, detailing the harrowing events and the courage it took to confront the darkness within. When the story was published, it garnered attention beyond the town, bringing in curious visitors and media coverage. Willow Creek began to heal. the shadows of the past finally lifted. Months passed, and life in Willow Creek returned to normal. Lena found peace in her new home, the memories of her past no longer haunting her. But as autumn gave way to winter, subtle signs hinted that the orchard's darkness might not be entirely gone. Late one night, Lena awoke to the sound of faint whispers outside her window. She rubbed her eyes, dismissing it as her imagination. But the whispers persisted, growing louder with each passing night. One evening, as she walked home from the library, Lena saw a figure standing at the edge of the orchard. It was a young child, their eyes hollow and pleading. "They never leave," the child whispered before fading into the fog. Lena stood frozen, a chill running down her spine. She realized that while the orchard's curse had been broken, the echoes of its past still lingered, waiting for the next curious soul to listen to the trees. Determined to ensure the orchard remained peaceful, Lena partnered with Ethan to establish a memorial for the lost children and implement measures to prevent the cycle from repeating. They organized community events and preserved the orchard as a place of remembrance rather than fear. But deep within the grove, where the ritual had been performed, a new sapling sprouted from the soil. Its branches reached towards the sky, and as the wind rustled through its leaves, a faint whisper echoed, "They never leave. Listen to the trees." The cycle continued, a reminder that some secrets are never truly laid to rest, and the orchard's silent vigil remained, watching and waiting for those who dared to uncover its mysteries. The silent orchard weaves a tale of mystery, supernatural elements, and personal redemption. Lena Harper's journey not only uncovers the dark secrets of Willow Creek, but also serves as a testament to facing one's fears and the enduring power of community. The lingering whispers at the story's end leave room for future tales, ensuring that the orchard's secrets remain an eternal part of Willow Creek's legacy. If you enjoyed this bone-chilling tale, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to Haunted Chronicles for more terrifying stories that will keep you up at night. Share this video with your bravest friends, if they dare, and let us know in the comments, have you ever encountered a shadowy figure? Turn on the notification bell so you never miss a new upload. Until next time, stay safe. And remember, the shadows are always watching.